use the word feminist and making it okay, related to Voldemort, or humanist, which is actually a completely different thing. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time if you're new here. So, as everyone should know if you're on this channel, I am a giant feminist, and one part of being a feminist is making the word feminist normal and making it okay because it should be. And I'm shocked that I haven't already done a video on this, but today's video is going to be 8 reasons why you should use the word feminist. And yeah, this is crazy. Let's go through the reasons. Before I start, I would love if you subscribed down there. And now let's talk. So to begin, as everyone I think will know, unless you've been living under a rock, the word feminist, for whatever reason, gets a bad rap. You know, it's mostly men who think that the word feminist means that you hate men. That's not true. That, oh, we're just like brow burning, crazy, independent women. I mean, what's so wrong with that? But I don't know, apparently that's a negative thing. And it just gets this big bad rap. And I'm just so passionate about this because it's so silly. It's so silly. So let's get into the reasons why we should all start using it. So number 1, honestly, all it means is that you are for equality. Like, that's literally what it means. Like, it's at its very basic, like, without going into anything more, at its very core, it just means that you believe that men and women should be equal, that you shouldn't be treated differently based on your gender or your sex, like that we're just all normal humans going about our day. And like, that just like isn't that much to ask for. Like, if you ask most people just that simple question, they probably would be like, yeah, I'm for equality. Like, why wouldn't someone be for that? That's like really like dodgy and like a giant red flag if they say no. But honestly, that's all it means. Like, just, and like, it's not a scary thing. It's just like, yeah, I'm for equality. I'm a feminist, of course. Yeah, that's all it means. And like, in my opinion, like, you know, you can say like, oh yeah, like, I'm all for equality, I'm just not a feminist. Because you hear that, people are like, oh well, I'm all for men and women being equal, but I'm just not a feminist. And it's like, but you are though. Like, that's what you're, like, you are. If you're saying that you're for equality for men and women, like, you just are a feminist. Like, again, it's not this big scary title. It's just like, yeah, that just makes sense. You're a feminist. Like, so that's one reason why we should all be using it. If you're for equality, then you're a feminist. Reason number 2, which I'm very, very passionate about, is I feel like so much problem with the movement feminism starts with the fact that we can't even say the word feminist or feminism. Like, in my opinion, I feel like it's half the battle. I feel like people would be so much more open to the movement if we could normalize the word, like feminism or feminist. Like, I just think that would do so much good for the connotations that people have with the feminist movement. And I always liken this to, and I think I've actually done this in a video before, but you know, if you're a Harry Potter fan, I think Hermione said it in the movie, but Dumbledore said it in the book, and they said that, you know, fear of a name only increases fear of the thing itself. And honestly, related to Voldemort, and I'm so passionate about this. I think it's so true with this as well. Like, if you are afraid of like the word, like, how are you meant to engage with the movement itself? Like, so yeah, I'm very passionate with this. I think if people just normalize the word as it should be, then it would help so much in, you know, to getting people to engage with the movement and just, yeah, and just not make it this scary thing, because it's not. Reason number 3, and I think this is so important, is that using the word feminist honors the women who came before us, who fought for what we have now. Like, I see so many women, and again, this is not on them, but I see so many women who say like, oh, I'm not a feminist, but they go to work, they own a car, they aren't forced to get married, they can, you know, have birth control and abortions. Like, all these things were fought for you by feminists. And I just feel like it's such like a slap in the face when people are like, oh, and for men as well, like, men have also benefited from feminism. So I'm just like, when you say you're not a feminist, you are literally dismissing and disrespecting all the people, mostly women, but I'm sure men as well, from back in the day, who fought for the rights that we have now. And I'm just like, if you use that word, you can honor their like severe sacrifices. Like, I feel like we have like, yeah, feminists now, you know, we put ourselves out there and we, you know, might get a bit of slack or whatever, but you know, I'm extremely privileged. Like, I'm never gonna suffer like what other women currently and what women have back in the day have suffered for their rights. So I just feel like it's the least we can do to like use this word and honor the sacrifices that they made to get us to where we are now and like what we have now. Reason number 4, I think a lot of the issue with people not wanting to call themselves feminists is that they don't think that they're like the perfect feminist. And I get that, it's like a really interesting reason why you wouldn't. But I want to say that like you can call yourself a feminist and still be imperfect. Like we all are. Like I don't know any perfect feminist. Like we are all imperfect. We're all raised in the world, in the sea that is the patriarchy. We've all drank that water. Like none of us is perfect. And like what does that even mean? Like what is the perfect feminist? Like, there is no such thing. So like you can call yourself a feminist and still want to shave your legs, you know, or you might not want to shave your legs, but you still do it anyway because that's the world we live in. That's like me. You can call yourself a feminist and still find yourself, I don't know, talking shit about your friends behind their back and like, you know, being a bad sister. Like, you know, I don't know. You can call yourself a feminist and still, you know, maybe not stand up for yourself in the workplace to a man who's mansplaining or man-interrupting. And, you know, you don't have to be this perfect, strong, independent woman feminist who doesn't care about anything. Like, we're all just imperfect individuals and, you know, we're just trying to make the world a better place. So, like, calling yourself a feminist is like the first step. You can just be like, yeah, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm working on myself. I'm working on the world. I'm a feminist and I'm going to continue to, you know, to try and, you know, improve myself and the world over time. So yeah, even if you're not perfect, you can call yourself a feminist. Reason number 5, a really important one. You can call yourself a feminist and still criticize the movement. So a lot of people think, well, like, oh, I disagree with feminism. I you know, I have a problem with it, therefore I can't be a feminist. But I just like completely disagree. I think you can be a feminist and still criticize the movement, like 100%. And honestly, I feel like it almost gives you more reason to, because you're like, well, I'm a feminist, I'm part of this movement, how can I work to make this better? Like, it almost gives you like more ownership over it or something. Whereas if you're like separated from it, there's no kind of, I guess, incentive for you to try and make it better. I don't know, yeah, it's kind of a funny one, but I'm very passionate about this. Like, you can still be a feminist and still see problems with the movement, because again, it's such a huge movement that like nothing's gonna be perfect. There are still things that can be improved and fixed and like talked about and discussed. So like 100% you can be feminist and still have a problem with the movement and work to improve it. And I want to make a point specifically here about black women, because obviously, you know, a lot of feminism is, you know, can be, you know, looked at as white feminism and exclusionary, and particularly, you know, like historical events and all this stuff. So like there are so many valid reasons why a person might not want to associate with the movement. But again, I think, you know, and again, like if you're comfortable with that, you can still call yourself a feminist and still work to make the system better. Reason number 6, also super important. All these reasons are really important, but this one is so important and it's talked about a lot. Using the word feminist as opposed to things like equalist or humanist, which is actually a completely different thing, acknowledges the root of the problem. Fundamentally, it is women who are oppressed. For sure, men are oppressed as well. Patriarchy hurts everyone. But there is no doubt that women are oppressed a million times more than men in this world. And so when you say things like equalist or humanist, you are dismissing that fact, and it's like pretending like, oh, we're all equally oppressed. We're not. Women have, like, fundamentally, objectively have it worse in this world. And we need to use the word that corresponds to that oppression and always keep it in our minds that yes, while we are working for everyone and feminism helps everyone and patriarchy hurts everyone, women are the ones who need this movement more. Like that's just how it is. And using the word feminist acknowledges that imbalance. Reason number 7, and an interesting one when I was kind of researching for this video, is I think people think that, oh, if I call myself a feminist, that I'm like excluding myself from a wide range of people, or I'm kind of, you know, pigeonholing myself into a group, which is an interesting one. But I would say like, no, not at all. Like I feel like when I started calling myself a feminist, I met so many different people, and like you end up actually meeting so many different kinds of people, and it actually, for me, it didn't like pigeonhole me in, it actually opened up my world. So if that's something that you're thinking, then like, God, I mean, I just don't think that hasn't been my experience, and I wouldn't think that at all. So yeah, I mean, I would encourage everyone to use the word feminist, and I think honestly, it opens up so much more than you could imagine, honestly. And then reason number 8, again, kind of linked to the last one of like not being pigeonholed. Like, feminism, if you think about it, is like an umbrella term. Like, there are so many different kinds of feminism, and that's what I mean. Like, you know, it doesn't pigeonhole you in. It doesn't mean you're just like one kind of person. Like, you know, there are so many debates and conversations within the feminist term. Like, there are so many different kinds of feminism and different opinions. Like, you know, we could have 2 people who are both feminists and have completely different opinions on, you know, just for example, things like sex work or surrogacy or, you know, like, so many different things. And so like, again, like, it's just a starting point. It's just like, okay, I'm a feminist, now what? You know, like, feminism, calling someone feminist isn't like the end of the road. Like, oh yeah, conversation over, I'm feminist. It's actually like the start of it, honestly. It's like, okay, I'm a feminist. What can I learn? What can I talk about? Like, what are my opinions on different things? Like, what kind of feminist am I? Like, so it's really just this like non-scary term that just honestly opens up a whole world. So those are the 8 reasons why I think people should call themselves feminists. I hope that helped. I hope if you're maybe on the fence about using the word, that maybe that has, like, you know, kind of shown you that it's not scary, that it's totally normal. There are so many feminists. It's just this normal thing. Like, everyone should be one. It's just, yeah, great. Oh, I sound like I'm trying way too hard to get everyone to call themselves feminists. But honestly, like, going back to one of my reasons about it just being half the battle, I just feel so passionate about it. I just think if more people use the word feminist, there would be such like less problems for the movement and how feminists are received if more people just normalized this word and used it and made it this positive thing, because it's just, you know, fighting for equality. It's just this nice thing. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any more reasons that you want to contribute, please do comment down below. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it or agree with any of the points that I made. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!